Beloved child, pause in this very moment, because a quiet choice you have just made has created a shift far deeper than anything your natural eyes can see. You did not do it to receive praise. You did not calculate who might notice, and you expected no reward in return. It arose naturally from the deepest place within you, where kindness has remained intact despite everything that once wounded you, where integrity continues to speak even though life gave you more than enough reasons to become cold. Perhaps, to you, it seemed like only a small decision, a different response. A moment when you chose silence instead of retaliation, or an occasion when you reached out to support someone else while you yourself were weary. But I saw it. Heaven recognized it, and what appeared to be an ordinary choice shook the old patterns that once tried to bind you within pain. I know you do not understand how such a small act could carry so much weight. Someone who has never passed through what you endured cannot understand that preserving kindness after betrayal is a great victory. Someone who has never lost trust cannot know how much courage it takes to believe again. Someone who has never been belittled cannot understand that refusing to use power to humiliate others is evidence of a mature heart. What you just did was not a loud miracle that caused everyone to turn and look. It was the miracle of self-control. The moment when you had an opportunity to become like those who hurt you, but chose a different road. You did not allow the past to write the response of the present. And that moment proved that what once tried to break you no longer possesses authority over you. Perhaps recently, someone touched an old wound and tried to pull you back into the feeling of being disrespected, abandoned, or misunderstood. Perhaps you heard words that made your heart burn and caused old memories to return as though they had never left. The former version of you may have reacted immediately, tried to prove you were right, or spoken words that wounded everyone involved. But this time, you paused, you breathed, observed, and refused to let 1 minute of anger destroy the months you spent patiently rebuilding yourself. No one organized a celebration for that self-control. No one knew how fiercely the battle was taking place within you. But I knew. I stood near and watched you choose peace, even though you possessed more than enough reasons to create chaos. This is what caused heaven to rejoice, not because you have never made mistakes, but because you stopped using your wounds as permission to wound others. You no longer say that because you were treated badly. You have the right to do the same. You are accepting responsibility for what you bring into the world. You understand that strength is not making those who hurt you afraid, but refusing to let them transform you into someone you never wanted to become. A person can win an argument and lose peace. Someone can speak the final word and then live with regret. But in that moment, you chose a victory no one can steal. You preserved yourself. My child, I know the burden you are carrying is not light. Responsibilities continue one after another, leaving you very little time to rest. Concerns about family, work, the future, and unresolved matters keep your mind stretched like a tight cord. Many times, you continued even when you no longer felt strong. You did what needed to be done, fulfilled your portion, and cared for others, while very few people asked how you were truly doing. This is why the gentleness you just showed is so precious. You were not kind from a place that had never known pain. You were kind after learning exactly what pain can do to a person. You did not forgive because you had never been betrayed. You chose not to let betrayal become a prison that continued to hold you. Yet you must also understand that kindness does not mean continuing to endure everything. I am not praising you, only to ask you to return to the place that emptied you. The maturity you have displayed must walk beside clear boundaries. You can refuse revenge and still leave. You can forgive without restoring access. You can desire good for someone without placing your future into their hands again. I do not want you to confuse unwise sacrifice with love. Preserving a pure heart does not give others permission to repeat harmful behavior. Be gentle, but do not be blind. Be compassionate, but do not abandon yourself. The greatest shift occurred when you stopped seeking approval from people who were never close enough to understand your complete story. In the past, you suffered because you wanted everyone to recognize your good intentions. You tried to explain, correct every misunderstanding, and prove that you were not what they claimed. But recently, you began remaining silent before judgments that possessed no goodwill. This was not because you had lost the ability to speak, but because you understood that your value does not need to be debated before every pair of eyes. The truth within you has become steady enough not to be shaken by every opinion. This is evidence of freedom. You no longer give others the authority to define you. I want you to look back and recognize how far you have come. The person who once feared every departure now understands that some separations are protection. The person who once apologized merely to preserve harmony now knows that peace cannot be built upon one person's continual silence. The person who once returned to familiar places because of loneliness is learning to remain with themselves until something healthy appears. These changes did not happen in one night. They were formed every time you cried and still chose to rise. Every time you recognized a lesson and refused to repeat it. And every moment when you wanted to surrender but preserved one small portion of hope. You did what the past never expected. You matured without becoming bitter. You received strength without using it to dominate. You saw the truth without turning it into a weapon to humiliate another person. This is the character of someone who can be entrusted with greater responsibility. I do not observe only talent, ability, or what you are capable of accomplishing. I watch the way you behave when wounded, the way you use words while angry, and the way you treat someone who cannot benefit you. This is where genuine identity is revealed. What I have just seen within you is a maturity that cannot be imitated. Yet do not allow this confirmation to lead you into pride. One victory today does not mean you will never again have a weak moment. There will be days when you respond poorly, say something you regret, or feel former patterns returning. When this happens, do not condemn yourself and assume every sign of progress has disappeared. Acknowledge what was wrong, repair it, and continue. Maturity does not mean never stumbling. It means returning to what is right, more quickly and honestly, without using shame to avoid responsibility. You are learning, and every time you choose peace again, you make the new road more secure. What just occurred is also evidence that you are ready for another level of responsibility. When you can govern yourself in a situation capable of igniting strong emotion, you demonstrate that you can preserve greater things. The opportunities approaching will require someone who is not easily provoked, does not lose direction because of praise, and does not collapse beneath rejection. I am building within you a steadiness that does not depend upon circumstances. You will need that steadiness when doors open, when many eyes turn toward you, and when your voice begins influencing more people. Talent can bring someone to a high place, but only character can keep them standing there. Therefore, continue protecting the goodness growing within you. Do not return to conversations intended only to pull you into disorder. Do not allow curiosity to make you reopen doors that were closed for a valid reason. Choose environments that nourish clarity. Remain near people who can correct you respectfully. And make time to rest so your mind is not always overwhelmed. Self-control becomes difficult to preserve when you are continually exhausted. You do not need to wait until you collapse before permitting yourself to stop. Caring for yourself is also part of protecting the mission entrusted to you. Beloved child, I saw what you did when no one else was looking, and it is more valuable than every performance before a crowd. You chose kindness when bitterness would have been easier. You chose silence when retaliation could have brought temporary satisfaction. You chose to move forward when returning to the familiar seemed less frightening. These choices are changing the direction of your life. The greatest earthquake is not a trembling outside you, but the moment when false inner foundations collapse so that a new structure can be built. Lift your head, but preserve humility. Rejoice over your growth, but do not stop learning. Remember that you do not need the world to confirm every victory before it becomes real. I saw it, and you will gradually recognize it through deeper peace, wiser response, and a growing ability to leave disorder without looking back. What you just did was not a small act. It was proof that the past no longer has complete authority to write the future, that your wounds no longer govern your voice, and that you are becoming someone capable of carrying light without allowing the surrounding darkness to change your nature. The purpose of your life has never rested in a title, position, or the approving gaze of a crowd, because everything outward can change while the calling placed within you remains steady through every season. A position can be given and later taken away. Today's recognition may become tomorrow's forgetfulness, and those who once applauded may leave when your path becomes difficult to understand. But what the Father planted within you from the beginning does not depend upon human change. You were created to walk in light, carry peace, reflect compassion, and bring sacred presence into places filled with fear. Every other achievement has meaning only when it serves this central purpose. You were not called to become a flawless image before the world. You were called to live truthfully, faithfully, and obediently through every small step, including those no one sees. This is why you have recently felt a heaviness that was difficult to explain. Some rooms once made you comfortable, but now you enter and immediately realize that you no longer belong to that rhythm of life. Conversations that once excited you now leave you inwardly weary. Relationships you once tried to preserve at any cost increasingly cause the goodness within you to feel drained. Certain opportunities that once seemed ideal have unexpectedly stopped. Even though you worked and prepared, you wondered whether you were becoming too difficult, impatient, or ungrateful for what you already possessed. But beloved child, discomfort does not always mean you are moving in the wrong direction. Society, sometimes it is the Father's way of telling you that the old garment no longer fits the new maturity forming within you. I am repositioning you, not to leave you disoriented, but to bring you closer to what you were born to accomplish. Repositioning often begins through a sacred dissatisfaction with what was once good enough. You can no longer pretend to be satisfied with shallow relationships, goals that exist only to serve an image, or busy days without meaning. The deepest part of you is beginning to reject what no longer agrees with truth. This may cause loneliness for a time because you are leaving familiar territory before clearly seeing where you are going. Yet the space between two seasons is not abandoned ground. It is where you are purified from former motives. Learn, again, how to listen, and recognize how much strength you once spent living according to the expectations of others. Not every battle you endured was a meaningless accident. Certain pressures exposed your limits, revealed where fear could still direct you, and showed you what needed strengthening. Wounds were not sent to punish you, but the Father can use even painful events to redirect your steps. A closed door may prevent you from building a future upon a false foundation. Betrayal may awaken discernment that you previously refused to use. A season of delay may provide enough stillness for you to mature before carrying something greater. Do not call every delay failure. Some things arriving too soon would become burdens, while arriving at the proper time allows them to become peaceful expansion. Purpose requires a person capable of carrying it without being crushed by it. Therefore, your ability to bear responsibility must grow through pressure, duty, and seasons when you can no longer depend upon temporary emotion. Pressure is not always pleasant, but it helps reveal what your life is built upon. When every sound of applause disappears, will you continue doing what is right? When the promise has not yet become visible, will you preserve integrity? When misunderstood, will you need to diminish someone else in order to protect your image? The quiet answers to these questions are creating depth within you. Someone with talent, but no depth, can easily lose direction when elevated. But a person refined in silence knows how to remain humble. Use influence properly, and avoid allowing success to make them forget where they began. Those entrusted with great responsibility in the past also passed through seasons of preparation no one desired. Joseph had to learn faithfulness in hidden places before he could govern when an entire nation faced scarcity. David had to care for animals in the wilderness and pass through seasons of pursuit before becoming mature enough to carry leadership. Moses experienced the breaking of self-confidence and many quiet years before becoming a guide for others. Even Jesus did not rush into public work before the time of preparation was complete. Therefore, do not despise the present season merely because it does not appear glorious. What is happening within you may be far more important than what others can see outside. The Father is not late within your story. He is not confused by the turns, hesitant because of your mistakes, or silent because he has abandoned you. Sometimes he speaks by closing a road, diminishing the attraction of something that once fascinated you, or creating uneasiness so that you can no longer continue living as before. He is returning every detail to its proper order, not according to the speed you desire, but according to the precision required for what will last. Even days when nothing seems to change are preparing you. Accidental conversation, small lessons, and moments when you must choose between convenience and what is right are gradually aligning you with the original design. Your purpose begins with knowing the Father more deeply, not merely knowing about him through what others have said. It means learning to recognize his guidance in daily life, trusting even when the map remains incomplete, and walking with him through the most ordinary things. You are called to bring light wherever you go without needing a stage or reputation. When you remain calm in a room filled with panic, you reflect the realm of light. When you speak kindly in an environment accustomed to bitterness, you fulfill purpose. When you preserve honesty, even though deception might produce quicker benefits, you live according to the calling. When you choose love without turning love into permission for harm, you bring a new order into a confused world. You are called to live differently without needing to display that difference. Genuine light does not always stand at the center of a stage. Often it shines quietly through consistency. You may be misunderstood because you no longer chase what others call success. Some will think you are missing opportunities when you refuse something that does not align with your values. Others may consider you weak when you choose peace instead of retaliation. But you were not created to live in a way that keeps everyone comfortable. Your part is to obey while uncertain, trust while still afraid, and preserve direction when the crowd changes course. This is the power of a life no longer governed by the need for approval. The world often measures a life through achievements, possessions, position, and the size of influence. The Father looks instead at the alignment between what you believe, what you say, and the way you live. You may possess much and still be far from purpose if everything is built upon fear, pride, or the need to prove yourself. You may also be within a humble season while remaining very close to the calling, because each day you still live honestly and care for what has been entrusted. Alignment gives clarity that busyness cannot provide. When you know what you are living for, you no longer accept every invitation, preserve every relationship, or pursue every goal simply because it looks attractive. During the coming time, certain distractions will gradually be removed. Some people may step away, not necessarily because they are bad, but because your journeys no longer move in the same direction. Desires that once motivated you may change. What you once considered your greatest dream may suddenly stop making you feel alive. Certain priorities will naturally be reordered as you recognize that peace, health, family, and integrity are more valuable than maintaining an image of success. Do not fear these changes. You are not necessarily losing yourself. You are meeting the true part of yourself that noise once concealed. The Father is quieting what confused you, strengthening the relationships that genuinely nourish you, and opening doors that correspond with the person you are becoming. Therefore, beloved child, stop filling your schedule completely and calling it a purposeful life. I did not call you merely to become busy. I called you into alignment. Stop treating exhaustion as proof that you are doing something important. Some work must be released, some invitations refused, and certain spaces kept open so that you can hear clearly. Purpose does not always require you to do more. Sometimes it asks you to do less, but with greater sincerity, depth, and direction. Rest upon the calling, becoming clear within you. Choose clarity over noise, faithfulness over fame, and obedience over constructing a flawless image. When you live in alignment, clarity will come, and you will understand that the greatest purpose is not becoming someone known by many people, but becoming someone who carries light to the right place, at the right time, through a truthful life. There will be voices questioning the position into which I am leading you, but do not allow their limited perspective to return you to the person who belongs to the past. Some people know you only through the times you failed, the seasons when you struggled, or the version of you that remained silent because of insecurity. When they see you entering a new place, they may not understand what happened. They may remind you of former mistakes or quietly wonder why that opportunity found you. But they are judging according to what their eyes once witnessed. While I have worked in places they never saw, they do not know the nights when you corrected yourself, the times you abandoned former reactions the prayers no one heard, and the small steps you faithfully took without receiving praise. Therefore, do not argue in order to prove that you are worthy. Allow your maturity, integrity, and results to speak for you. You are no longer defined by the version of yourself that was once afraid, inexperienced, or quick to doubt. The past may explain why you once acted in certain ways, but it does not possess the right to determine how you must live in the coming days. I do not deny what you experienced. I am using those lessons to prepare you for what is new. Someone who once stumbled can become wise if they learn. Someone once disregarded can become a leader who knows how to respect those standing behind them. Someone who experienced scarcity can manage abundance with gratitude. You do not need to erase the former story in order to enter a new chapter. You need only to stop living as though the most painful part of the story is your complete identity. When something new begins to appear, remain near me and do not let excitement steal your discernment. A great opportunity may cause you to answer immediately. Tell everyone, or imagine too far into the future. Yet, not everything that excites you is necessarily aligned, and not every invitation wrapped in splendor has come to support your purpose. Slow down enough to examine the details, the conditions attached, and the long-term results it may produce. Ask whether the opportunity agrees with good values, respects your health and boundaries, and allows you to mature with integrity. Genuine guidance is not threatened by honest questions. What is right will not require you to silence wisdom in order to prove faith. Yet do not allow fear to trap you within endless hesitation either. After witnessing many plans collapse, you may have become accustomed to examining every door until the moment to enter has passed. You call it caution, but sometimes it is merely an old wound telling you never to take another risk. I want you to recognize the difference between discernment and delay. Discernment helps you gather information, seek advice, and choose clearly. Delay causes you continually to ask additional questions, even when the answer has become sufficient, simply because you fear the responsibility behind saying yes. When the moment arrives, you will need to move forward calmly, neither hastily nor turning away, because you cannot control the entire road. The offer will carry responsibility equal to its value. It may open greater authority, broader resources, or a sphere of influence you have never carried before. Yet accompanying it will be the need to learn, adjust, and mature. You may need to enter difficult conversations, manage your time more carefully, develop a new skill, or release habits that belong to the former season. Some people want the reward without transformation. But I do not entrust something great merely for it to become decoration within your life. I want what is given to make you deeper, more trustworthy, and able to create lasting value. Opportunity does not only change circumstances, it also illuminates the parts of you that still need refinement. This is why the present moment is more important than merely receiving something great. I am building you into someone capable of carrying it without losing peace, humility, or valuable relationships. You once prayed to be elevated, but elevation carries more than light. It also makes weaknesses more visible. When your reach expands, lack of discipline produces greater consequences. One careless sentence can wound more people, and one hurried decision can affect those who place trust in you. Therefore, I spent time repairing the foundation. I taught you to keep your word, apologize, govern emotions, and remain faithful in matters no one was watching. These lessons were not small. They are the structure that will support what is approaching. Do not become disappointed if elevation appears in a form different from what you imagined. Perhaps you expected a position, but I send a project that forces you to discover your abilities. You may wait for public recognition, but first receive a quiet responsibility. Perhaps you thought breakthrough would make everything easier, while the first invitation instead leads you toward a level requiring greater discipline and courage. This does not mean you are moving in the wrong direction. A valuable opportunity does not always come to make you comfortable. Sometimes it comes to draw you beyond former limits. I am not only answering your desire, I am also expanding you so that you can contain the answer. Therefore, do not live so far ahead within your mind that you neglect today. You can easily construct hundreds of possibilities, imagine every outcome, and become exhausted before the actual offer appears. Return to the present and complete what is within your hands. Care for your health. Reorganize your schedule. Fulfill unfinished commitments. And continue refining your ability. These actions may not feel extraordinary, but they are preparing you to receive the new moment without becoming overwhelmed. A prepared person is not someone who correctly predicts everything that will happen. It is someone who has created enough inward order to respond wisely when opportunity comes. When that moment appears, you will recognize it not only through strong emotion, but through clarity rising above the noise. The details may still need examination, but within you there will be a steadiness difficult to mistake. It will not resemble pressure, forcing you to decide immediately from fear of missing out. Neither will it resemble excitement that causes you to ignore warning signs. Genuine confirmation will make you more alert, honest, and responsible. You will see that the opportunity connects with what I quietly taught you through many years. Skills that once seemed unrelated, lessons you once struggled to understand, and relationships that appeared accidental will begin joining together into a clear picture. Then step forward with quiet confidence. You do not need to display yourself or tell everyone that you were chosen. Someone who is truly ready does not rush to turn opportunity into a stage for proving their worth. They listen, learn, and begin working with gratitude. Let the way you prepare, treat others, and preserve integrity reveal that you belong there. If there is something you do not know, learn humbly. If you make a mistake, accept responsibility and repair it. If you are praised, do not allow praise to make you forget the days when you were built in silence. You do not need to become someone else in order to fit the new position. You need only to carry the most mature, truthful, and courageous version of yourself into it.